to escape this lock is you want to first, at all times, tuck your chin in so you won't get you won't get as choked as much, and much damage will come to you. So what you want to do with this is just grab the shoulder, the hands, pull down while you have your chin tucked in, and then go over like this, and then you know, come over him, and then you know, go for the sweep. Now, another technique we can explain is the guillotine choke, which is used a lot in street fights. I've seen it more commonly used in street fights because most, like 90% of fights end up on the ground. So a lot of basic defenses that people know how to use against like tackles and stuff like that are just, they don't know how to sprawl or get out of the way or anything like that. So they will basically just go for a guillotine lock and try to choke you out. Now, a way to do this, escape, like this, is basically you tuck your chin in to an angle. You know, you want to basically cup your ear to their arm, and you want to just keep constant pressure from your chin on the hand, and then when you reach under, and then you grab, and then you can push at your opponent at his solar plex. You can go for different chokes. You can go for the groin area. You can reach under, pick them up, a bunch of things. Now, another technique is like I said before. There's this thing called like a takedown. There's 3 ways to escape the takedown over here. A lot of people, this technique is known as the matador because it's like if someone, it looks like someone who's trying to take you down is a charging bull, and this technique is called the matador because you're like that matador getting out, the bullfighter getting out of the way. Usually it works with Tai Sabaki best, like I showed you in previous videos. Demonstrate. And you wanna keep pressure on your opponent. Sometimes, if they're not that strong, you can push and go for chokes. Put constant pressure on his butt with your knee. Another technique is if they actually get you. You know, a lot of times if you can get the arm in is the guillotine, but you know, he'll have his arms tucked in his chin a lot of times, so you won't be able to do that. The best way to do this is the Tai Sabaki escape, and you just counter with the basic step and kick the leg out from under him. Another way to do this, this is what wrestlers do. This is a wrestling technique. They basically widen their stance and lower themselves to the ground. This is called a sprawl. Sometimes they go on their knees and then push out. And they might get back on the ground, or they might fall back over and try to shrink or something like that. That technique, I wouldn't recommend as much because you're sacrificing yourself to go where the opponent is on top, and you're on the bottom. So I wouldn't really refer to that technique as much, but it is a technique you can use. Now the next technique we can go over right now is a hair grab. I've seen this in a lot of street fights, mostly with women fighting. A lot of women will go for the hair. So go for the hair. What you want to do is grab both arms, and apply pressure. Just squeeze the arm, twist up, and widen your stance. Push in, and do tatsubaki. That will sort of pry the hair open. You can do a lot of different joint locks with that technique, like I've probably shown in previous videos, like, hold your hand out there for a second. If you have open the hair and you push it back and you do tatsubaki, and they still have a grip on your hand, you can basically go for the metacarpal, which is basically you're applying pressure and you want to twist back like that. And if you do it quickly and fastly, it will work to your thing. A lot of people try to hold other people up with guns, knives, anything. This technique will work with the same way as with a gun versus a knife. So you want to sort of use the same technique with knives as well. So basically, if you're hold up, say he gives you a command, you want to do the command. So give command, sit. Say he tells you to
Get
sit.
around.
Okay. Say he tells you to get on the ground. You wanna comply the best on the ground. Say he doesn't tell you to get on the ground.
Be quiet.
Say he just tells you to be quiet. There's nothing really you can do on the ground, but when you're in that type of vulnerable situation, you want to just do what he says. But if someone just takes out a gun and points it at you, the best way to react is just this. You push the gun out of the way first. Usually, it's like this way turn on this way. Usually, it's over this way. Usually, their handle